Welcome to episode 6 of Square Table Conversations, where we talk about topics that matter. And today we are going to talk about homeschooling and whether it is better than the normal or regular schools.
Yeah, so if we look at how homeschooling originated, it was back in the 19th century, and when in England and places, in rich families, these kids had a tutor who came home and they taught them stuff. Maybe because it might have been a prestige thing, or it might have been that they can't go to school with regular kids, and that's how the whole concept of homeschooling originated. So if we look at it today, how is it relevant for us? It's basically these overachieving or kids who have a special talent, and it can be in sports, or it can be in movies, or it can be basically child prodigies. They go and they compete, and they need to take that time off their regular school so that they can go and showcase their talent, and these kids even go on to win state medals, national level medals. They even represent India and other countries. So they need that flexibility for them from their school system so that they can go and pursue their talent, and so that the talent can be nurtured from since when they're kid, and they go on to become huge personalities in the future. Yeah, that's my take on this.
I feel that homeschooling is, it is not structured. It basically means that usually sometimes the parents take a decision that they'll only teach the kid, or there's a special tutor for them. But the kid is completely missing out on the social aspect of life. I mean, there are people who manage normal school and go on to become achievers. It's not necessary that they have to get homeschooled, because there's so much those extracurricular activities. Sometimes schools help you identify what you're good at, right? And any sport, I feel, if you're talking about sports, most of the sports involve social interaction, and a person, when a kid goes to school, it becomes more social. It knows how to interact with other kids. In homeschool, it's just restricted to just studies. It has to complete some syllabus from the parent has to teach something, or the tutor has to come teach and go. That's basically like tuition. So I mean, it won't help in the overall development of the child.
If you look at an urban setting, for example, Bangalore, I had watched this video some time back. So in that, there was this couple who used to earn a lot. They used to work in a corporate, like they used to work in the corporate setting, and they had a kid. So they were first they were addicted to this notion that we must earn a lot, we must send our kid to a very good school, and then we have the money, and so we have to send him to a very nice place. So when they started sending their kid to a school, they realized that it's only mugging up the syllabus, or it's only during the exam time that the kid used to study, and everything. He was good at a few things, but he was forced to study everything else. To an extent, it is true that if a child studies everything or is introduced to all the topics, then they'll know how to pick a certain topic or study what they want. But it can be done in homeschooling as well. In schools, what happens is there will be exams for everything. So you'll have to study everything and score a certain way. There is a pass-fail mechanism. So you have to study some things that you really don't want to, and then you need to pass an exam for that. So in homeschooling, what happens is that even though an external tutor comes and there is a syllabus, the kid can actually study what he's really good at, and then when there is an exam or something, he can just manage to get a certain marks or something like that. He's free to read, like for example, if he wants to read only English today, or tomorrow he wants to do only maths. So that can be done in homeschooling. It's not that they must have a certain number of hours of studying, or you have to join a school that runs for 8 hours or 9 hours or something. So they can be very flexible with what they are studying. So that's how homeschooling benefits people. I
But
guess.
that is
Flexibility is not just a boon, it's also a bane, because when you talk about flexibility, the concept of discipline just vanishes. Right? Now, if you let your child from the very beginning choose whatever he or she wants to do, then later on in life, when you will actually have to decide for the betterment of the entire, the entirety of, say, a group, or when you consider society as a whole, I don't think the child will be, developed in such a way, because from the very beginning he or she has been taught to get whatever he or she wants, right? And because look, majority of the time you don't spend in school. I think we just used to spend around 8 to 10 hours in school, right? I think 8 hours was the thing, 2 hours of travel, whatever. But the thing is, the other 14 hours you are spending with your family, so you have more than enough time to inculcate all those values into your children. But when it comes to homeschooling, you are just excluding the child of the social aspect of building up character. So you are just trying to create what you want to create out of your child, and you're not actually letting it explore unless you've let it into the world. That is what I think. So yeah.
Yeah, so if you look at it, school is more of it's a very rigid system. It's like until 10th or 12th standard, everybody is put into one single box. Everyone's given the same amount of training, same amount of education. Everyone's at the same level. And then after 12th or something, everyone's expected to suddenly explore the world. You're expected to stand out and not be a part of the crowd. That's not going to be possible because the school system is rigid. You said putting them into school is like making them explore it, but I feel like school actually restricts it. It's more of a rigid system, and kids don't get to explore everything.
I think that's not totally right, because if you say the child had been following whatever the school had been saying, then it took the child longer to understand what it is good at. Had exposure to all the activities might have at some point showed that the child was good at something. Now it is the responsibility of the child's caretakers, say be it parents or even teachers for that matter, to find that this person is good at it, and now you can pursue that later on.
I think like schooling, whatever, when we're till 12, I think that's the developing years of a child. It's very important that they're exposed to everything and pure to pure interaction. That's something I feel is very important. If you isolate a kid, then you're like, you go do this routine, then come back home, and then you have to study. It's just gonna there's something, I think it's gonna affect them mentally in one or the other way. If you isolate a child and make them study, even if you're saying that the school system will be rigid, the curriculum will be like this, I feel that's a very small price to pay compared to whatever they have to
later on.
Later on.
When a child is given freedom to explore whatever they want to do or something, rather than applying filters, like if a child goes to a normal school, what happens is all the children are they not only have this peer-to-peer interaction, they also are subjected to peer pressure and what the teachers think of them, or what the society thinks of them, and what parents think of them based on their marks or whatever it is. So those filters are also applied, like maybe you have to earn money, or earn a certain amount of money, or study, be good at everything, or get get 98, 99% or something like that. Those filters are also applied to the child. But when the child is left alone or left to explore in open schooling or homeschooling, that time what happens is the tutor or the parents teach them what they need, and maybe in the evening or whenever they have time in the day, they interact with other kids as well. So it's not like they are in isolation or they are separated from others.
I think peer pressure will be there in all stages of life, and it's better if they get used to it in school, because it'll be there even in then they start working. There will be peer pressure at any stage in life, as a matter of fact. So if they're exposed to this in the developing ages, they know how to handle it in a better way. It won't be something new that you'll have to face after a certain stage. And another point is that I feel homeschooling is obviously very expensive compared to a normal schooling. You need to be very financially stable.
Okay, so you spoke about peer pressure. So in the developing stage, it has more impact on the kid rather than if they were an adult and they were exposed to like peer pressure at that point. They're already equipped, or they're already they have the enough knowledge to handle a situation like that. But as a kid, they don't have that. That's why so many people you see have childhood traumas, because they were exposed to something like this in school. They might have been bullied. It could have been anything, or maybe they were already socially anxious as a kid, like in a normal school setting, and they were bullied because of that. Or it could have been that or maybe even in the case of like differently abled kids, it's not their fault that they're in such a situation, and they are bullied in regular schools, because these kids open schooling is the only option that they can go for, and it's also a viable option for them than an actual school system, because they need that special attention, they need that special care.
You said that there are special need children who need special schools. I understand all of that, but don't you think that if you homeschool all of them, then you are actually taking away a part of the society? Like, you are not educating the society of the kind of people that they have to be sensitive towards. Now, if you know that that's the developing stage. Now, you find somebody bullying someone, there are a lot of kids who stand up for those.
In homeschooling, it's basically about as she said, for those those are good at something else and not just academics, and those who are differently abled, it enables them to learn as well as fit into society their own way. It's not like they have to be exposed to the harsh realities of the world, and then only they learn how to get through it. So they'll be their mental health also will be taken care of when they're homeschooled. So, and there are many things like the society sets standards for, like, you have to get married at this age, you have to study, you have to become a doctor or an engineer, you have to do certain things. So those filters are also removed from their surrounding, so that they can develop in their own way.